Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm George Kremlis, Principal Advisor to the Greek Prime Minister on energy, environment, climate, and circular economy. I have the pleasure to welcome virtually David Livingstone. A video will be projected in a while as David, although he wanted to be with us, is with Secretary John Kerry, traveling around the globe to promote the green climate agenda of John Kerry and the Biden administration. So, in a while, we will project the video, and then I will continue with my own presentation.
Kalispera, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I am remiss to not be joining you in person in beautiful Thessaloniki. I remember fondly the several past years I participated in this important forum, and am greatly impressed by how it has grown so quickly from a good idea, a small but promising gathering, into a critical item on the year's calendar, and foremost venue for discussing the opportunities and challenges of the global energy transition and its implications for Southeast Europe. I'm extremely grateful to our hosts, the American Hellenic Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Atlantic Council and U.S. Chamber of Commerce serving as strategic partners. Thanks also to the U.S. Embassy in Greece, headed by the incredibly capable and dedicated Ambassador Sounis, for his continued leadership on these issues. It is terrific to be in the company of the ambassador at this forum, as well as Deputy Assistant Secretary Volz from the Department of Energy, and our array of outstanding ambassadors from the region. These colleagues are indispensable partners and keystones of U.S. efforts to enhance energy security and sustainability in Greece and across Southeast Europe. It's also wonderful to be here today with Mr. George Kremlis, whom I've worked closely over the past year and a half with on these critical issues. When I last spoke to this gathering last year, I highlighted three pillars of our then still nascent U.S. climate diplomacy efforts: getting the U.S. on track, exercising U.S. leadership, and of course, raising global climate ambition and action. I'm pleased to say that, while there's more work to be done, we're coming from a position of strength on all three accounts. Last year's bipartisan infrastructure framework, coupled with this year's Inflation Reduction Act, represent a historic investment of well over $400 billion in the clean energy transition, not counting hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in additional Loan Program Office authority for loan guarantees in the Department of Energy. It will help scale some of the most promising and compelling startups and fast-growing entrepreneurs to address our shared climate and energy challenges. We hope that the United States will become an engine for smart, clean, prosperous economic growth, with knock-on benefits for many partners around the world. This historic investment also helps to make significant progress towards our own 2030 climate target of cutting emissions in half from 2005 levels by the end of this decade. These developments are, of course, then complementary to our own international-facing initiatives, efforts, and broader leadership activities. For example, the United States has launched, together with the United Arab Emirates, the Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate, AIM for Climate for short. AIM for Climate is mobilizing new public and private investment toward climate-smart agriculture innovation, which we need more than ever in a world whose food systems have been strained by war, supply chain disruptions, and climate impacts. The Inflation Reduction Act will include historic new levels of investment in climate-smart ag as well. And this, in turn, will help to further power AIM for Climate. We hope that other countries will join us in this effort. We have a coalition at the moment of over 40 countries, nearly 200 non-government stakeholders as well, from companies to universities to philanthropies and beyond. And then there's another initiative that comes to mind, the First Movers Coalition, which President Biden proudly launched at COP26 in Glasgow last year, and which is gathering demand signals for greener products in key sectors, including hard-to-abate sectors. These are sectors like steel, aluminum, cement, aviation, trucking, carbon dioxide removal, and of course, shipping. We're proud to feature 55 companies representing nearly $8.5 trillion worth of market cap. That's nearly 10% of the Fortune 2000, as well as 10 different countries across 3 continents, all as part leaders of the First Movers Coalition. Greece, many of the other countries gathered at this event, can play a key role here, especially given the leadership role that you have in the shipping sector. We need the shipping sector's ingenuity and can-do spirit more than ever to power ahead. I'm excited by the fact that clean hydrogen production tax credit in the Inflation Reduction Act will likely make clean shipping fuels competitive with, and in some cases cheaper than, low sulfur fuel oil in the United States over this decade for use in the shipping sector. We also must lead on the world stage, of course. And I'm pleased to say that not only have many of those gathered here today been key partners in the push to get us to where we are today, with well over 50% of global GDP aligned with long-term and near-term climate targets, with keeping 1.5 degrees Celsius, our global goal, within reach. Not only that, but there are also synergistic issues that speak to the core values and identity of this region. For example, to return to shipping, the United States was proud during Secretary Kerry's visit to Athens last month to announce that Greece will be hosting the 2024 Our Oceans Conference. Thank you for that leadership. And in addition to this, the United States is proud to support Greece's efforts to promote the protection of the region's world-renowned cultural heritage from the impacts of climate change. My friends, there's much to build on here, not just in the energy security arena, not just in the climate arena, but in the wise and pragmatic synthesis of these 2 compelling policy priorities. As you've also heard from others, promoting Southeast Europe's energy security in ways that align with our shared climate goals is a top U.S. policy priority. In Secretary Kerry's office, at the Department of Energy, at the Department of State, in every single part of the United States government, we are committed to this region and to having a shared destiny of creating modern, clean, and competitive economies that will flourish in the 21st century. Together, there's much we can do. Together, we can, for example, improve our anticipation, reaction, prevention of wildfires and other climate impacts that have devastated this region, as well as my own home state of California, which earlier this week went through a historic heat wave. Together, we can build safe, secure, transparent clean energy supply chains so that our workers and our societies actually prosper as we propel the clean energy transition forward and deploy more clean energy in our respective markets. Together, we can work to develop, commercialize, and ultimately deploy the next generation technologies that we'll need to make our energy system safe, flexible, and increasingly decarbonized over the years to come. It feels like there are many promising threads connecting the United States to Greece and other countries in this region across the domain of the energy transition. But we have only just begun to weave those threads together. We look forward to doing that together with you all. And I look forward to hearing some of the ideas for how to do that faster, better, and in new ways that we've never thought of from the conversations that take place at this conference. I'm looking forward to also hearing Mr. Kremlis's remarks, thoughts, and ideas on the next steps for how the United States can engage meaningfully, constructively, and for that greater future of shared prosperity with you all here in the room and you all in the region. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and I wish I was with you today. Thanks very much.
I would like to thank David Livingstone. I hope next year he will make it to be with us. We have developed an excellent cooperation. And I would like also to stress the important role that Secretary Kerry is playing as regards climate protection globally, and the relationship that we have developed on energy issues with the United States, which is to be praised. Now, let me react to what David has said and share with you also my own remarks. I believe that we need to develop the short, the mid, and think about the long term. And of course, the short term is COP27 in November in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. This is a big challenge to convince the international community that the climate crisis is worsening. It is exacerbated because of the war and the energy crisis, and all this has created a spillover effect, which the international community has to address. And the key message for COP27 is that the war and the energy crisis should not delay the energy transition and our common goal not to have the temperature of the planet exceed the 1.5 Celsius. And in that respect, the role of the United States is extremely important. The new Biden administration and Secretary Kerry are, if I can say so, very green. They are promoting climate diplomacy. We are on the same page with the European Union. The European Union has a very ambitious agenda, and I believe that COP27 has to be a success. The other challenge of the short term is winter. We need all to face a cold winter of energy scarcity and the high prices. This has been developed in the previous panel. So what we need is two things: ensure solidarity towards the neighbors, and Greece has shown solidarity vis-à-vis Bulgaria. Bulgaria is expecting us to help them more. The good news is that on the 1st of October, the Azeri gas through TAP will flow to Bulgaria through IGB. This is a major achievement while the FSRU is developing. And of course, there will be pipelines to North Macedonia, the aim being that IGB can be further developed to Romania and to Ukraine, as currently we are discussing about a solidarity corridor from the north to the south, rather from the south to the north, to Ukraine. This should become in the future an energy corridor, a green energy corridor, and of course, this is an extremely important issue. Therefore, energy security is the big challenge of this winter, combined to energy efficiency and to all the measures that today are being discussed with many difficult, I would say, challenges in the Energy Council of Ministers in Brussels. Hopefully, the conclusion will be rewarding, but for the time being, things seem to be difficult. And of course, the short-term, mid-term key challenge is the development of circular economy. Circular economy is the new economic model which will boost energy transition and ensure climate neutrality. It has to be developed simultaneously with all the other measures to boost renewables and, of course, to promote the energy transition. The midterm is to promote further gas, hydrogen, and I would say green electricity. And in that respect, Greece can become a corridor of clean green energy, which will come from Egypt through the interconnector. Renewable energy, clean energy can be brought to Greece and from Greece transferred to the other countries of the European Union, not only to our neighbors. This requires, it has been said by previous speakers, an extension of the grid, a smart grid to interconnect the region, and of course, storage capacity. And in that respect, the link between circular economy and critical raw materials to which the previous speaker was referring is extremely important, because critical raw materials are key to ensure the energy transition. You need them for the smart batteries. You need them for all the renewable energy devices. You need them for electromobility, electric chargers, etc. So there is an interconnection between circular economy and energy transition, which we need to support. And in that respect, what is important is to promote the gas pipelines, to extend the network. IGB is extremely important, the FSRU is extremely important, but the gas pipelines have to be developed as dual pipelines, which in the future will become hydrogen mixed in the first stage, and then hydrogen pipelines. And then, of course, in the long term, we need hydrogen, and the fusion is coming, and hopefully there are already good signs that fusion experiments have been successful, and that we will not need to wait till 2050 to achieve this. We will be present in Egypt in Sharm el-Sheikh for COP27. It is important to support Egypt to become a green energy hub, and in that respect, the help of the United States is extremely important. We need energy security and peace in the region and in Eastern Mediterranean, and I would like to add to this, bringing through cable green electricity to Greece and then to Europe is extremely important, but we need also to exploit our gas resources. And the good news is that in Block 6 in Cyprus, very important discoveries have been made. Therefore, it is important again to reconsider the East Med project, which at a certain moment was considered as not bankable. Now, with the new discoveries, one can be much more optimistic and determined, and I do believe that gas can flow from Israel, Egypt, and Cyprus to Greece, and then to the European Union, and in the future, all these pipelines can be also used as hydrogen pipelines, as Egypt has the potential not only to produce green electricity, but also to become a hydrogen hub. The last point I wanted to share is the new generation of fuels. David has referred to two important USA initiatives, which are also very important for the European Union and for Greece, and which can lead to greening the shipping sector in terms of new generation of fuels, extremely important. Storage is extremely important. Unfortunately, Greece doesn't have the storage capacity. This is something we need to develop. The neighbors are supporting us, Italy and Bulgaria, to store the 15% that we have to store according to the EU legislation. But this is a challenge that we need to face. And of course, carbon capture storage is important. And I do believe that we have capacity in Greece to develop carbon capture storage. Therefore, a lot of challenges ahead in which the USA can help us with the new initiatives, the new technologies that they are developing, and most importantly, the stability that we need in the region to be able to exploit all the resources not only of Southeast Europe, but also of East Mediterranean, which are to be considered as European Union resources, and in that respect, the role and the support of the United States can be extremely important. So once again, I would like to thank David Livingstone for his speech and for the excellent cooperation that we have developed. And of course, we're looking forward to our cooperation within COP27 and to the support of the United States of America as regards the Greek initiative at the UN level that I have the privilege to chair, which is protecting, and I finish with this, cultural and natural heritage from climate impacts. This is a Greek initiative which is supported by more than 100 UN member states, and which is also supported by the United States, and we are grateful to them for their support. Thank you for your attention, and I think we can move now to the next panel as the time is running. Thank you.